Welcome back to ODT Rugby Chat for another week. In the big game last week, I'm pretty sure I picked Tyro to win, and they absolutely thrashed Kaikarai to remain in top spot. So we're sticking with club rugby this week. With me tonight, I've got Ed Baker, the coach of the Dunedin Premier side, and I've got Big Mike Reggett here from Southern. Now, Reggie's in charge of a few things. He's in charge of the Southern Club, has been for 1,000 years, and he's also running, pretty sure he's running club rugby in this town, so we'll talk to him about that as well. He might deny that, but that's what we'll talk about. But we'll start tonight. Eddie, we'll start with you. I look at the Sharks games most weeks, and I keep thinking to myself, they're not travelling very well, but I see you've won 9 in a row. So you must be doing something right.
Oh, yeah. We have our moments, and we haven't been consistent, but I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact that we've had some, probably my worst year when it comes to availability of players through injuries and stuff like that. So we haven't had any consistency, and that's just reflected in the way we play, I think.
But you keep on winning.
Yeah, I know.
So that's got to be a good thing.
It is great.
Right.
We seem to know how to win, and that's certainly good.
Yeah, Reggie, we'll bring you in. You and I were talking before because you're involved with the what's it called now?
Metropolitan Rugby Council,
right?
MRC.
That thing. So, and I agree with you. Is this the worst year you can remember for injuries?
Oh, we actually had an MRC meeting last night, and all the clubs are reporting that they've never had so many injuries, particularly front rowers. And
so that'll be a reason why in a lot of these grades where we've got these non-contestable scrums.
Yeah, correct. Like in my own club, we've got 23 front rowers. Well, 4 weeks ago we only had 15 available to play.
Right.
So injuries, like Ed's saying, it's one of the reasons why we've been pretty inconsistent this year. Is Barry's been unable to pick, say, the same team 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
So
how's the Southern Club looking? From what I'm seeing, the Southern Club's tracking pretty well though.
Up and down. 1 week we play really, really well.
Well, I'm talking about the Southern Club as a whole.
Tracking well. Yeah, it's tracking well. We're really lucky, I think, as you know. Tim Belcher does a great job recruiting.
Super coach.
Yeah, super coach. Does a great job recruiting players, and like in our Premier side this year, 22 of the guys of the 30 have come through the Colt system. So, we're tracking pretty good, and we're lucky that we have someone who's sort of almost crucified to the old cross and getting players to the club. So it's really good for our club at the moment. Yeah.
So Ed, to come back to you, let's talk about some of the injury issues you're having. Like some of these key players that we really wanted to see this year, for example, the bigger blindside flanker, we haven't seen him all year.
No, and I hope Brownie's keeping his mind and options open in relation to him.
What's his name again?
Mitchell
Zanstra. So he's played what, 30, 40 minutes of rugby for you?
30, 40 minutes rugby, and I think he's an outstanding prospect, and he's only 19, and hopefully he'll have enough time on the park this year when he comes back from his head injury to show his wares.
And I see Sam Anderson-Heather is out again for another indeterminate period with now a hamstring injury.
Yeah, his hamstring last weekend. He was on the park for 10 minutes and gone. We'd like to see him on the park for a bit more time, but that's just the way the nature of rugby is, I'm afraid.
That's the way it is. Look, let's put your Metro hat on for a minute, Reggie, and let's talk about and I've been on and on about it, and a lot of people have, about the fact that we're playing rugby on Fridays and Mondays and Saturdays and Sundays. Look, and all the clubs are moaning about it because they're all saying it's killing their bar taker, their club, and it's killing our club, it's killing your club. So, but there's obviously there's valid reasons for why we're doing this.
Well, one, we have a review each year, and we asked the clubs this year. We did it a wee bit different. Normally poor attendance at meetings, so we sent our form out, came back from all the clubs, and basically they said that's what they wanted.
Right.
And the thing is, like at Premier, we want to play 2 complete rounds to get a proper champion.
Yep.
And that's the reason why we have to do it. It's not ideal, and our club is mostly now having reservations about the 2 complete rounds.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, that's what the clubs want. If I go back to last weekend, across the board, we had 7 games on Saturday in the grades P2, Colts and Women.
Yep.
7 on Saturday and 11 on Sunday. But we also had 7 referees who were unavailable on Saturday because of their exams. And, exams are killing us. And I know that the union, the Otago Rugby Union, has been to the university and basically we're showing the door.
Right.
And one of the biggest exams on a Saturday is PE. And now we're a student town. All our clubs rely on our students, and we've got to. I know things have got tougher for them now at university,
Yep.
so we just got to work around it.
Right.
So if the clubs aren't happy, at the end of the day, they're the ones that make the decision. We only implement
So,
what they want.
So what you're saying is, I mean, because I think a lot of these clubs go along to these meetings, they don't think about the ramifications of all the stuff they're voting for. So your message to clubs is basically, look, review your own club at the end of the season, work out what works and what doesn't, and come to that meeting with your own plan in your own mind. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, correct. Well, as I said to you earlier, Paul, the 13th of July, 8 Premier clubs stop playing Premier Rugby, and Colts P2 go on for another 7 weeks.
Yeah, and it does make a lot of sense.
So it shags your club. Everyone knows that your shop window's your Premier side. So once they're not playing, you don't get those supporters back to your club. You still got them going out and watching your junior teams, but you don't get them back to your club. And
so once your senior, as you know, once your senior side's gone, your season's over.
So 27th of July, Premier Rugby's over.
Still got a month to go.
P2 and Colts don't finish till the 24th of August off the top of my head. So.
Well, yeah, look, we'll come back to you and let's talk about some of the things that are, how are you getting on with Brownie at the moment? So everything's
good.
All right
We're tight. He'd be one of the first NPC coaches I've had experience with that actually communicates on a regular basis.
Well,
how
Brownie's watching this.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, we've heard about Brad Weber now. I'm still staggered. I wrote about it in the paper last week. Brad Weber's been cut from the Otago. I just don't see, apart from the wee Japanese boy, another halfback that's quite as good as Brad Weber in the competition.
Well, I may be biased because of my association with Brad, but I've been around the traps a long time playing, in this game, and I haven't seen a better halfback in the competition.
That's
just honest truth as far as I can see.
It just staggers me, and I know you and I have talked about it off screen about the fact that there was two of the best halfbacks in town were playing in the Dunedin's varsity game. I think the Nick and Air is a good wee player, like him as a halfback, like Brad Weber. What Brad Weber brought to the game on Saturday, he was your number one defender. He was the one that was defending off the ruck. He's a great tackler, Brad Weber.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're missing that.
Yep.
I don't know, boys. Look, we'll move on to. We'll keep talking about this, and I want to come back to Brandon. We'll move on to our Form 15, and then we'll come back to some of these questions. All right, lads, we're going to make some changes. I got lots of abuse last week about all these Pirates boys in, so they're all going. So this is the saga. They lost to Alambra. They thrashed by Alambra Union, so they're out. He's out. Craig Miller's out. Josh Clark spent a few weeks in here. He's gone, and Sean McCarroll. Well, he was a 1 week wonder. He's gone. So we're putting in. What am I doing here? I'm going to put.
You're not putting Paul Miller in. He played.
He only played Prem 2s, didn't he?
No, he played Prem 1s on the Friday.
Did he?
10 minutes. Yeah.
Sam Anderson.
So he won't be happy you've dropped all those guys.
And Sam Anderson Heather's going as well because he's out. So we're putting in at hooker. We're putting in Dave Heffernan. This is the Irish boy. Did we watch him play?
No,
he's
I
not
haven't.
bad.
No.
I'll tell you what, he's quite a talent.
It's a big, robust footballer, isn't it?
And in the front row, I'm putting the Rarotongan shoulder in, Will Henry. I think he deserves a crack.
On the tiny.
Sorry, you can go, Lucy.
Oldest man in Dunedin Club Rugby.
He's only about 27.
Now the ocean line is gone.
And I'll tell you what, this kid here.
Off.
No.
This kid's good. This kid plays prop for. That's McLennan. That's Trevor's son.
Oh, that's Trevor's son. Yes,
yeah,
he is.
no, he's going
Same
all right.
blonde hair too.
Yeah, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put Willis Scott in. I'm going to put Luke Schuler in because he's only played a few games for you, but he's playing pretty. He made a lot of tackles on the weekend. And I'm going to put Willis Scott in. These guys can play left and right because he's talented, this Willis
He's
Scott.
a good boy.
And in the back line, I'm only making a couple of changes. I'm dumping Finn Gormley, the Irishman for Pirates. He's out because they lost. And I'm putting Hamish McBride. I don't know if it is Hamish, but it's definitely he's McBride. He's going in there.
Hayden McBride.
Is it Hayden McBride?
Yeah.
And I'm dropping Willie Mushet. He played fullback for varsity. I wasn't impressed. He's out. So I'm putting your boy in.
Ronnie Statuto.
Is he goes right?
Yep, he's
Is he
from
related
Southland.
to? Is he related to?
Yes, he is. Yep, related to him. So he's from through the Southland Academy. He's got wheels, mate. He'd be quicker than Liam Evers. He mowed.
Well, that's a big
Tony.
statement.
He mowed Tony.
That's a big
He mowed
statement.
Tony Ensor down.
He was the one that caught him from behind.
Yep, had a team out start.
But Liam Evers has won the ODT Express, so we've got to go.
I think it was a bit of inside information.
Well, there was none. I try to keep out of his ear for at least 10 minutes before the race. Now, look, the other thing is I'm hearing now. If you've had this request, I'm hearing Brownie's asking now for the Premier team to play a game at 1 o'clock now each week, a Prem game.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've read the email. I'm still trying to process what it means for us.
What do you think about this, Rigo? Again, I just can't believe we're doing this again.
Brownie's gone to 8 of the clubs requesting that they play at 1 o'clock. At the end of the day, once again,
It'll be up to the clubs.
up to the clubs, and if they make that choice, so be it. But I know one of the games involves a trophy and it's a team that's gets perhaps the best supporters in Dunedin.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll be too kind to playing a game at 1 o'clock.
I just don't see it.
Out of the old park.
There's got to be 3 or 4 minions that are supposedly selecting players. Surely they can just divide it up and do it, can't they?
Well, in the old days, we used to have the game's videoed, and they all did that. So.
Yeah, like I just think it's a bad idea. We've had a tough enough season as it is. We need to sort of you play your games at 2:45, play your junior games prior, then at least you get some sort of decent bar take. Boys, we better move on to this weekend's game. I'm getting told to wind it up, so we're going to talk about, for a start, Reggie, we'll start with you. So Southern playing Alhambra.
At home, yeah.
They win. What do you reckon? They win.
Yeah.
Zingaroo University. Uni win.
Yeah,
Uni win
yeah.
for you.
Yep.
Yep. Kike Dunedin. This is the big game. This is the big game of this weekend.
It is.
You'll be saying Dunedin win.
Oh yeah, I am. Oh, yeah.
What are you saying?
Dunedin, mate.
Pirates Harbour.
The Pirates playing at home.
Pirates are at home.
Yep, Pirates.
Right. You'll stick with the Beach Boys,
Yes.
even though you're an ex-Harbour man.
Yeah.
You know, well, sort of. GI Tyree.
Tyree,
it's
mate.
going to be Tyree. Too big, too
big.
strong.
Too big.
Like I've just done the numbers quickly. We've got about 30 seconds. I just want to ask you about where we see. Look, I've done some work on this about who makes the 4 at this stage. I think Tyree and Dunedin are there. They win one more game each. 55 points is the cut-off. They'll go into the 4. They've got to win one of their last 4 or 5 games. So it comes down to, I think Pirates are out of the race. It comes down to Southern Uni and Kike. Who do you think makes that 4 of those Southern Uni Kike? Who misses out?
Southern definitely.
They make it?
They make it. Look, University Kaikorai. It's too close to call there, I'd say, Paul. I mean, if Kike get over us this weekend, then their chances increase. Yeah,
right.
but
what do you reckon, Reggie? Do you do Southern?
We've got 3 toughies. We've got Tyree, Dunedin, and University finish off the round.
Yeah.
And Kaikoura got Zingaroo, Green Island, and Pirates. So it's
But you've got a 4 point. You've got a 4 point start.
We've got a 4 point buffer. We've got Alhambra Union this week and Harbour next week. The ball's in our court. It's up to us.
Yeah. So you see yourselves making it, surely.
Well, we don't play for 18 weeks not to make it.
Right. And what about Uni Kike? Too tough to call.
Too tough to call.
Right.
On their day, University, but Kaikoura up until last week won 7 on the trot. So.
Right, boys, look, the big game this weekend is Dunedin playing Kaikorai. Dunedin have got a few out again, but I hear Kaikoura also struggling. They're playing up at the high veld. But I think Dunedin are too strong. They win 12 and under. We'll see you again next week.